Hello, Paul the Grumpy Tyler. Little video about Vauxhall Mokka water leaks, coolant loss, slow coolant loss, not like drastic water pump failure or head gaskets, just in general water loss, which they do actually suffer from. And I'll try and show you some of the sort of bits and pieces that I found that are prone to leaking. Anyway, let's crack on. So it's 2014 Mokka, full Vauxhall history, every stamp in the book. Let's have a look. What you do, you come out to check or to like top the screen wash off and find the coolant levels dropped. This is fine, this is just where it obviously keeps all the time. I did put a tiny mark on there, it's just over it, but we've not had a leak for a long while. It's done 70,000, the leak started at 55,000. Best to check in the morning when it's cold. You've got an angle connector to the heater matrix, the lower one. That was the first place it leaked. It wasn't much, it was a drip, but if you're checking it hot, it's actually drying off as actual fast as it's leaking. So first thing in the morning or like cold, just to check that. The one over the top is a straight connector, that's been replaced. Both of those replaced, sort of 10 to 12 pound a piece. Replace both of them, don't need to drain down. Roughly 5,000 miles later, it was losing water again, couldn't find anything. Inspected closely here on the expansion tank, and there was a crack under there. There was a faint pink line in the plastic. Obviously this actual bounces, flexes the joint, so she'd cracked there. So I've got a new genuine Vauxhall tank. They don't cost much, £20, give or take a few quid. Changed the cap at the same time because they're prone to losing pressure. Then that was fine for a while. Then there was a leak down here where the large hose fits on the housing to the side of the cylinder head. Now that part, you can buy that. That's a genuine Vauxhall housing, and I think that was 24-25 quid. But she'd had a crack on it here, and I'll show you that. So this is the original housing. It's where that large hose goes on, and if you can see on that seam that had cracked, obviously it was under the hose for a while, and then it extended back to that right angle, and that's where the water was sitting, but only when it was cold. Obviously with the heat it dries out straight away, so it's hard to find. But yeah, so I replaced this thing. You can also see a line going across there, that is also a crack. So that was the culprit on the third occasion. And then we had another leak, or the leak I found. This is the genuine Vauxhall part, and that pushes in the top. Sorry, I'm one-handed. That pushes in. Then obviously there's a retainer clip. So you've got an O-ring in the top there, but then it's got a reducer that comes off at an angle to go back to the expansion tank. I believe it just lets gas out or air back to the top of the expansion tank. Now there's a push fit in there with another tiny O-ring, which is this one, which was all gnarled up. and that had a very slight weep. Unfortunately, when I bought the new genuine Vauxhall one of these, it came with the new larger top sort of insert, but it didn't come with the smaller one which connects to the hose, which we'll go back and have a look. So you've got the hose from the expansion vessel, and I believe it's called a degassing pipe. It's just, but this piece, this angled connector, goes into that, but it didn't come with that. So of course, with that O-ring leaking, I had to source an O-ring. Luckily, I went to screw fix. To bear with me, because I've got to go and I wasn't prepared. I just come out to top the screen wash up, and I thought I would show you some problems and easy solutions. Right, Arctic Haze metric nitrile O-ring. These are okay for use with antifreeze, and I believe it was the 2mm by 7mm, which was a perfect fit on that the actual tiny one at the top. Right, let's get the pointy stick. So, fairly simple. Air charge hose, just undo that, push that aside. Obviously don't get any dirt in that. I did undo the coil pack connector. There's a connector down to the water temperature sender, and this one here, removed all of those out of the way, and there's 3 E10 Torx bolts. They're not too bad to get to. You really want like a 1/4 inch drive. Just sort of undo that. You will get water loss run out of the head. I did partially drain it down, which was a complete ball ache because the drain plug is on the side of the radiator. It's on the passenger side. If you're in the UK market, it's roughly sort of that position inside. To access the drain plug on the side of the rad, you need to remove the lower sort of like engine cover, and you can put your arm up and you'll find the drain plug like screw. It's just like a thumb turn thing. It's quite hard to get, obviously, get it sort of undone initially. And then there's a little spout on the front of the rad on the inner side where you can put a hose to drain it off. I actually did manage to get a small piece of clear plastic hose on that. But obviously there was still water loss when I undone the housing. Yeah, the bolts are just E10s. I don't know what the torque setting is, probably not a lot, 10, 8 or like 10 foot-pounds, whatever. There's hardly any pressure needed on them because there's a rubber seal that protrudes past the housing itself. So providing you clean the mating surface up, and I did put a tiny smear of grease on there, not grease for bearings, either of these type greases will do. And then I just nipped them up evenly. The bolts are captive with inserts, so you won't actually crack the plastic unless you go mental with them. But yeah, topped it up, it was fine. It's been fine since. That was the O-ring, which goes in this top. See that tiny little hole in there to let air out. Well, that's a bad design because there's like obviously 2 like places it can leak instantly. In fact, there's a third because there's another push fit on the actual sender unit itself. Yeah, that's got all wobbly, so chances were you could have a leak on that. probably the best course of action when you get to 50,000 miles plus, well, age sort of dependent really, would be to change the whole lot, which is what I ended up doing. Price wise, around about £120, and that's for both the heater matrix fittings, tank, expansion tank, box of O-rings, £10 out screw thicks. I put some new antifreeze in it. I just sort of bought like a basic red long life antifreeze. It's all confusing these days because you got out technology and all this and that, but I actually checked on the site that it was okay for this. Seems to be fine, but it's one of those jobs you need to check it when it's cold, because obviously it like evaporates off instantly, so you're trying to find it, and you think like the worst case, oh, the head's gone, we're going to have to get rid of it. And if you take it to Vauxhall's, chances are they won't find it either, because they'll just plug it in or do diagnostics, or like a tank pressure test it or sniff test, and they'll say no, just like keep an eye on it, but it's probably going to cost you 150 quid for them to tell you they can't find the problem. So anyway, hope this has helped. I don't have the part number for this housing. Well, obviously plastic, it's the case with all cars from about sort of 2008 onwards. They're all plastic fittings, the crap, they degrade. And I said the only thing I spotted, I'll just show you where to check once more, because this was a hard one to spot, and it was there, right, it was just wet there in the mornings, and that's all it was. And it's been fine since, but it's now up to 70,000. So anyway, thanks for watching, cheers, bye.